Introduction is infinite realities prescribed in scriptures, post-apocalyptic, internalized radiation, breaking microwaves and balancing macroeconomics, shaking treaters and healing greeters. You are what you have been, eat, sleep, and manifest while you magnetize. I write 30 seconds if you try to give 35 lies 50 times. Nuclear warfare and diabolic dictatorships. Battles between the red and white blood cells. Lower and left leg and right wrist. Do thou wilt is ignorance. Do what thou wilt is ignorance, because if you believe I understand, and if I understand you are dead to me, just as the old law wrapped in modern mafia's omerta code. If I live, I will kill you. If I die, you are forgiven. Stand on your pillar or use a rock as a pillow. So what's up? It's 6:52 a.m. It's Tuesday. Representing Tia, Day of War. It's the Matrix 6. I think it's the 18th. I want to say it's the 18th, but I'm not sure. October 18th, 2016. So, a lot of, wrongs can be rewritten, so to speak. That light's so bright, man. That light is really bright. It's like, a lot of wrongs can be rewritten, so to speak. Like, when talking about, we're talking about people who are driven by, I mean, if nothing else matter, you know, because there's that thing antimatter, and that's what's going on with the CERN, or like the European Organization of Nuclear Research, who are teamed up with HARP, or the if somebody knows what HARP, or if somebody knows what HARP stands for, just type it in the comment section below, please, and thank you. But HARP controls the weather, and it's a lot of so yeah, basically this stuff isn't shown on cable television or the television that you need to pay for, like the better television or whatever, the better cable. The parents who are watching that cable, basically the local communities are represented by that. So I mean, the right idea, it is the right idea, not to try to have to publicize everything so much, but then to like uh to worship idols so much as what we do in music every day. Every day, basically, music is a form of idol worship. So I mean, I understand how like the Psalms of David are very important and everything, but I mean, really, we should be more into Solomon's Ecclesiastes, and than opposed to because the divide and conquer was basically the template of what happened to India, and then what's happening to Buddhism, like all over the world now. Or I mean, what happened to Buddhism to begin with? You know, Jesus was always known. Jesus was always what it was. Jesus, it was always Jesus. Jesus was always God, or God, or from God, or with God. So I mean, once you realize that, you realize that this whole this whole thing's just been, fucking a debauchery, because you got people who are still the chanting and everything. You know, this stuff is it's a debauchery. You know, because we're supposed to live in love with the animals, not love the animals, not kill the animals. So, and then when you take into account all of these like social media, one could say paradigm shifts, or that are so uh, these realms of thought that are so easily accessible because of basically someone else's interpretation of what is known as the universe or the cosmos. And this is dangerous. Why? Because this is dangerous, having all of these people sharing their opinions pretty much, because nobody is very sensitive to what is even yoga, let alone hip hop, or something that originated so recently. However, it may have taken over the globe, but it's only because the beast took over. Even to say the red dragon took over, the red dragon's already taken over the world. So the weather is very bipolar right now. It's just like, I mean, if you think about, if you really think about if you really think about global warming, so this is like quickly, this ignites quick, right? Like it catches on fire quick. Like if I basically like went like this with the flame, and just like lit the whole cigarette on fire, but I just want to light the tip. You know what I'm saying? But all of this manufactured business, it's all been just a way to get us away from the truth, which is time. You know, people's experience, I don't want to say I don't want to make it sound like misogynistic or become uh masculine, or yeah, misogynistic, or sodomize, or whatever, molest or whatever. But see, I don't even know what I was talking about. You get into one box, and that box breaks down, and that box breaks down, and that box breaks down. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Like the door, like when you see that door, like way off in the distance, and you just open one door, and you like see, it's just doorway after doorway after doorway after doorway. That's kind of that kind of represents like the return of Jesus, having to walk through every doorway, but in that line coming from where the sun set, coming from when the sun, because it's like, they want us to imagine if time could go backwards, like if we could go back in time. That's why as a Christian, I'm stronger than I am as a Hindu. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or as like a priest, I have more power than a Swami. Or as like a preacher, I have more power than a minister. As a minister, I would have more power than a Swami. Like, look at it like that, because knowledge is power, so, I mean, America's not the only country that has mass amounts of people committing suicide every day. There might be mass amounts of people dying every day, and an anti-American would say it's because of America, but that's not necessarily true. You know, someone giving you that message is a false messenger. Therefore, you have a false ego. Nothing is real. Life is an illusion. No, life is a test. Better yet, life is a box of chocolates. So, people want to rush into weed legalization, or this is what a dream represents to me. Having seen my body or my character, the character that I play in the role of life in the world every day and every night, it's just made me, it's given me the